Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and once again gonna be looking at the pre-built PC market over on Amazon. Things are still in a dire situation, but some of you guys want to pick up a PC. The pre-built route isn't a bad route to go, still not ideal, and obviously prices are still outrageously expensive as we are still in the midst of everything going on. But nevertheless, wanted to highlight what I found to be the best options on Amazon. Would I say that they're good options? That's for you to decide. If you look at the GPU price points on eBay right now, these GPUs are just outrageously expensive, as you guys probably know. But let's get right into it, and let's start things off with the cheapest PC that I thought was relatively decent. That is the HP Pavilion gaming desktop for $693. It includes a GTX 1650 Super, an Intel Core i3 10100, 8GB of DDR4 RAM, and a 256GB PCIe NVMe. So $700. It's really getting to the point where it's hard to find a nice PC under $800. This one for $7 is okay. A 1650 Super is actually not that bad. The only drawback to this PC is the i3 10100 and the fact that it's only got a 256GB NVMe. Ideally, you would want something a little bit more heftier as far as storage is concerned, and ideally, you would want an i5, but an i3 10100 is still pretty decent. The issue is, if you go and try to find PCs cheaper than this, you start finding PCs that include like GT 1030s or GT 710s and things like that. GPUs that are just not very good at all. A 1650 Super is still a pretty solid GPU, especially at 1080p. It could still offer pretty decent gaming performance. Ideally, I would recommend you to spend a little bit more and get something a little bit higher end, but if you're at a tight budget, for $700, this is honestly the best option I saw over on Amazon. Okay, next up, this one is a little bit more expensive at $790, however, quite a bit beefier. You get a Ryzen 5 3600 3.6GHz, this one's from iBUYPOWER, by the way, an AMD Radeon RX 5500 XT, which is a pretty expensive GPU. I believe it's around $450 on eBay, so yeah, take that for what it is. 8GB of DDR4 RAM, a 240GB SSD, and you've got Windows 10 on there. Windows 10, of course, on the other PC. All the PCs have Windows 10, which is a nice benefit to buying a pre-built. The issue here, once again, 240GB SSD, but you really make out on the CPU side of things with a Ryzen 5, and an RX 5500 XT is quite good for 1080p gaming as well. So $790 for this, I actually think is a pretty decent deal. I know a lot of you guys don't like going the AMD route for your GPU, but if you're okay with that, I think this is one of the better options that you can get right now. And again, 1080p, this is going to be a really nice machine. Okay, next up, we have the Skytech Chronos mini gaming PC with a Ryzen 5 3600, a GTX 1660 Super, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, a 500GB SSD, so this one is really rounding out a nicer PC. Even outside of just the GPU, 16GB of RAM is quite good, 500GB SSD, while I still wouldn't say that's absolutely ideal, it's definitely better than 240 gigs or 256 gigs. And yeah, this is just a very, very well-rounded PC. I would still stick to 1080p. If you want to go 1440p, you absolutely can with a 1660 Super. Some games just might not be ideal from a, ultra setting 60 FPS standpoint, just because some of these games are a little bit more difficult to run. But your Resident Evil Villages of the world, that's going to run pretty well at 1080 or even 1440, to be perfectly honest. 16GB of RAM is obviously a nice beneficial factor to this PC. $1,050 is a little bit on the pricier side of things, but what can you do about that? There's really not much you can do. So yeah, wanted to give that a shout. Another option, if you do want to stick to the 1660 Super route, there is a Skytech Blaze with a Ryzen 5 3600, GTX 1660 Super, 500GB SSD, and 16GB of RAM as well. That's DDR4 3000. I'll leave that in the description box. And then there is also the option that's quite a bit beefier with the Skytech Shadow 3.0 gaming PC, an Intel Core i7 9700KF 3.6GHz, an RTX 3060 12GB, so RTX 3060 is quite good, 16GB of DDR4 RAM, a 1TB SSD, so this is super, super well-rounded for a 1440p machine. If you go at 1080p, a 3060 is going to kill the majority of games at 1080p. 1440p it's going to do quite well as well. $1,600 is pricey, but again, that's kind of what you have to deal with. To give you guys an idea, I believe the RTX 3060 is going for around $800 to $900 on eBay right now, so I'll give you guys a price point of that right now because I don't have it off the top of my head. So yeah, you're looking at about $800 to $900. Some of them are for $1,000, but it seems like, some are $750, so $750 to $900 is the range for a 3060. So yeah, quite expensive, but $1,600, not the best deal in the world, but yeah. take it for what you will. The other option is the OMEN gaming desktop. That has a AMD Ryzen 5 5600 and an RTX 3060, and it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, a 1TB PCIe SSD, and a 1TB hard drive on top of that. So you got a lot of storage for your money here. That's $1,630, so a little bit more pricey, but really the key here is the RTX 3060 and the Ryzen 5 5600. Then if you want to go really high end, if you're talking about the 2K range, that is where you're going to be able to get an RTX 3070. They have the Skytech Chronos with a Ryzen 7 3700X 3.6 GHz, an RTX 3070, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3200, 1TB NVMe SSD, and a 650 watt gold power supply. Honestly, if you have the money, like, this is actually a pretty decent PC from a value standpoint, just because a 3070 is so expensive. You're getting a 3700X, 16 gigs of RAM, a 1TB NVMe, a 650 watt gold power supply. And really, the bulk of the cost does come from the GPU, considering that the 3070 is like $1,000 to $1,100 to $1,200. So, yeah, the 3070 is no slouch. Obviously, it's a beast of a GPU. Should be, you know, it's MSRP of $500 to $600, but hey, you can't really do anything about that, and I'll keep reiterating that because I get a little disgusted seeing at these price points, but that's kind of the reality of the situation. It's the story with consoles as well. Everything's going out of stock. If you want to go the Intel route, there is a Gamer Xtreme by CyberPower PC desktop that includes an i7-10700F, 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, a 1TB PCIe SSD, and an RTX 3070. It's a little bit more expensive at $2,200, so I wouldn't really recommend that. I would rather go with the Chronos with a Ryzen 7, but hey, I'll leave that option up to you guys. And that's going to wrap up this one again. These pre-built gaming PC prices, while not great, kind of the story that we're going to have to deal with for probably a long time. Like, I know a lot of you guys are expecting this to ease up by 2021's end. I'm thinking more so 2022's end. I'm not even kidding at this point. Like, I'm being pretty pessimistic about the situation right now, but I think we're going to be in this for the long haul, and it's not the case with, like, Ethereum mining all those years ago, where that was a situation for, like, 6 months. I believe it was, like, 6 months, but it cooled off pretty fast. We've been in the trenches with this for north of a year now, so hopefully the end is in sight. Hopefully I'm wrong about my timetable, but I think I'm just being a little pessimistic because I've been seeing this for, like, a year plus, so yeah, and you always hear about things, oh, things are getting better, but I'll believe it when I see it, and I know some of you guys want to get your PC. I'll leave links to all of these in the description box below. They are Amazon affiliated, so if you do end up buying anything with my links, I do get a bit of a kickback that supports the channel and is much appreciated. But that's going to wrap up this one. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.